great Monday and welcome to the Coach Show, where women life and business coaches come to be educated, equipped, and empowered to coach with confidence and lead with transformational power. Join me, Coach P, right here on the Life and Business Coach campus every Monday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time to package your brilliance, optimize your performance, and bring harmony to your life.
Equipped, empowered, poised, and positioned to move those who are ready to move is my ultimate mission. I wake up every day determined to make a difference in my assigned place. You see, my purpose, my passion, and my focus is to take each one of you from where you are to where you want to be. I am Pamela Lue-Hing, better known as Coach P, and welcome to the Tuesday night special edition. And I'm so excited to have you here tonight on the Coach to Coach Show, our special guest. Here on the Coach to Coach Show, we help women discover your gifts, develop your gifts, and then give them away every single day. It is sponsored by the Life and Business Coach Campus. So we are going live on the Life and Business Coach Campus on YouTube, as well as my personal page. And so I want to see who's in the house tonight. Yes, Coach P. Hey there, Lotus. Rashay, thank you so much for joining into the show tonight. You are in for a treat. I'm excited to have you here. And I tell you what, we need you to like, we need you to share, we need you to comment, we need you to, I don't know if it's start a watch party, share this moment in time, because truly there is a triple threat coming your way, a triple threat to teach you how to exhale. These three women are truly, truly powerful. I've had an opportunity to watch them together. And then I've just met them, of course, individually. We've talked for just a few. And I'm so excited to bring them to you tonight. And so let's see who's in the house. Lotus out of Washington, D.C. is in the house. Let's share this broadcast. Thank you so much, Lotus. Yes, let's share this broadcast. I'm so very excited to introduce to you our guest tonight. So I'm going to bring them up individually and read to you their powerful bios. Okay, so give me just a moment as I am doing my best to work technology tonight. All right, so hold one moment. And I'm going to bring them up, and we're going to begin with Coach Marisa Jones. So allow me to introduce Marisa. I'm going to Marisa Jones, Quintero,
Hi.
Annabel Quintero, and Doc V, Dr. Virginia LeBlanc. Hello there,
Hey, folks.
ladies.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the stage. We have people joining us this evening, and I'm so excited to have you. And you said you cannot hear the sound. Can you hear the sound now? I'm sorry, I'm just seeing that.
Yes, we hear you now, sis.
Okay, all right, great. I think when you're backstage, I'm not sure if you can though, but I think others are hearing there's no sound. Angela said the same thing. So there was no sound at all for your introductions. You didn't hear them.
No.
Wow. Isn't that interesting? Okay, well, we're just going to jump right in. How about that?
Excellent.
How interesting is that? Okay, so let's begin with Marisa Jones. I want to know you are a mindset coach. So, can you tell us how long you have been coaching and a little bit about how you got into coaching?
So I've been formally coaching for the last 2 years. And, I got into it when I was, I spent 30 years in corporate IT. And during that, I led large technology implementation projects. So I've always had huge project teams under me. And when you're managing teams, you're a coach, you're a counselor, you're a therapist, you're a negotiator. And so I spent most of my career doing that. And I was also a former mentor in the corporate world. I published my memoir in October of 2019, and it's about domestic violence, abuse, and overcoming and healing. And since then, I started a coaching program, and that's when I started doing my coaching and became a mindset coach.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so, Marisa, what have you found to be one of the keys to effective coaching?
So I think for myself, I think it's about being authentic. A lot of people told me that in order to be a coach, I had to follow certain protocols or I had to do certain things and present myself a certain way. And I just found that being myself and being authentic and sharing my stories and sharing with my clients some of the things that I've gone through so they understand that I know where they're exactly coming from. And I think being authentic and just being you, because there's thousands and hundreds of thousands of coaches out there, right? So what makes you unique? And it might be in the way you present yourself or a story that you tell or an experience that you've had that's going to make someone connect with you and resonate with you. And so I think that's part of being, a success is just really being yourself.
Being yourself, being authentic. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Let's go on over to Coach Annabel Quintero.
Hi, it's such a pleasure to be here.
Glad to have you.
Well, I'm so excited to be here. I'm sorry, what was the question again?
So the question is how you got started into coaching, and if you could just share how long you've been coaching, and then share a tip with us on how to be an effective coach, one of the keys that you found to work well for you.
So I began coaching actually many years ago as a certified holistic health coach. And I did that work basically back in 2002. When most people didn't know what meditation was. And I was doing that work back in New York and then changed careers. Family life was a priority for me, raising my daughters. And then I saw how I was coaching so many people in education, whether it was helping them prepare for testimony at school board meetings or to speak with policymakers. So there was always this teaching and coaching and mentoring aspect or dynamic in my life. And then now I've been coaching again for the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. I'd say one of the most profound tips for a coach is really allowing yourself to be vulnerable enough to let people connect with you by sharing your own story. So many times as coaches, we're a little afraid. We're the leader and we have all the answers, but it's always good to really allow yourself to be vulnerable and to connect with your clients, and so that they can see the journey you've been on, because it's the wisdom. Yes. That is really what prepares you as a coach. And so I'd say that sharing that time when you were down and out and how you overcame is a huge way to serve your clients.
Excellent. Thank you for that insight. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Let's go on over to Dr. Virginia LeBlanc. So please share with us how long you've been coaching, what type of coaching. You're actually a transformational, holistic transformational coach, yes?
Yes, yes, sis. Thank you so much, Pamela, for having me here. Hello to the audience. I'm here in the Crystal City, Virginia area, originally from the great state of Texas. My journey really started back when I was working in higher education. My personal story became my client mission, and that mission is transformation through transition. So I really come by the moniker you see, the Pivot Maestro, actually given to me by my authority positioning coach, as I was just kind of sharing my story and how I had to transition through life and worked in so many different industries and career fields that to the point of where people couldn't grasp who I was or what I did. And it was like everyone kind of looked at me like, oh, well, maybe she's the one unstable, she's broken. And I actually bought into that hype for a while until, I had the revelation that, there was nothing wrong with me. I was able to finally connect the dots and realize that was my story. That was my sole purpose, to be able to relate to all walks of life across various industries. I had to experience it. I had to perfect skills within there and then, really just hone and transform those skills into, standing in, my space, in my power and my greatness, that we like to say. So, my company Defining Paths has a global mission of creating a boss nation, in mind, body, soul, and business of purposed entrepreneurs with that holistic wellness. So that wellness piece, I really started focusing on that back in about 2019, Pamela, actually after you and Annabel and I met, I think 2020 when I was overseas, and I was still, doing the parallelpreneur thing. I was, working in the workplace, and then, also trying to manage my own business, build my own business. And I just I was dealing and found myself in a very hostile, discriminatory situation, in the workplace. And it started to affect and internalize within my body. And so I think that was God. Well, I know that was God slowing me down, saying, okay, you really need to focus on, you take care of you, and really a wake up call, because he'd been telling me to, do my own thing full time for a while. And I was being stubborn, but that's a whole nother conversation. So I will say that, the tip that I would give to other coaches, to my clients, is to truly think without that box, because that's what helped me. I guess really the formation of what I do now really started when I was working at Indiana University in Bloomington, where I was working with at the time, it was not a holistic scholarship program, but it was an academic scholars program. And when I was a coordinator there for academic and career services, I could see what was not on the table. You could see the place settings, but what was missing from the students' experience to make them successful professionals and just, well-rounded individuals. So I turned that into a holistic program as I progressed up the ladder to the directorship. And then when I left, it would take another really 7 years or so before I really processed and connected those dots as to what truly my passion and soul purpose was. And so that's how I'm walking and owning it, and just encouraging others to think without that box, not even outside the box, because the box is still in your view and it's hindering your perspective in some way, shape, or form, or you could still see those limiting beliefs and slip back into that box.
Wow. Dr. Lotus Rashay, she's tuning into the show tonight, and she is lighting us up, and I'm loving every minute of it. And she says, viewers, are you sharing this broadcast? This is a $1 million broadcast. Wow, ladies, you are all phenomenal. I echo those sentiments, Dr. Lotus Rashay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, she says, ladies. Thank you so much for sharing. And I tell you what, you missed all of the intros that I was reading, but it's even better to come from them, wouldn't you say? Yes, they are all powerful. And I'm so excited to really get into each of them, get into their minds. And the question I have for all of you out there is this. I have a question for you. I'm going to put it up here on the screen. Are you ready? Are you ready to excel? Are you in need of restoration, refocusing, or a reset? Tonight, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the importance of exhaling to embrace a new you. These ladies, I call them the triple threat. All right, because they truly are. You see how powerful each of them are and all of their varied experiences. And they're going to talk to us tonight about exhaling, and to keep moving and being resilient. Because even though things don't work out quite as you planned, you got to keep moving forward, as you noticed tonight. You got to just keep moving forward. Okay. So I'm excited to talk to each of them. And I have questions actually for each of them individually. And then we're going to talk about a very special event that they have coming up. And so I want to start with Coach Marisa with this question. Earlier, I watched a podcast, or not a podcast. It was a show that the three of you did together, and it was a live. And you addressed, and I really love what you had to say about self-awareness. So can you talk to us and share with us a little bit about the importance of self-awareness?
Absolutely. So many of us, we go through life and we're so busy and we're caught up in our day-to-day and what we do, but we don't really think about why or how we're doing things. And so self-awareness, I always look at it, are you operating on with self-awareness or without self-awareness? And so when we're operating without self-awareness, we're not thinking about what's going through our mind, our body, our emotions, right? We're just kind of we're impacting the world, right? We're touching everything, but without really knowing, having an understanding of how we're impacting people. And so when you're operating without self-awareness of who you are, what's going through your mind, what are your triggers, what are your expectations, exploring fully who you are as a being and how you impact people, you operate on a reactionary mode because everything comes to you and you react to it, right? So if you have a stressful thing that happens to you, what happens to your mind? You start self-doubting yourself, or you start questioning things, you question people's motives, right? And then you react based on those thoughts, right? Or you feel physically ill and you're not really sure why. And so you start, questioning, oh, I need to exercise more. Oh, I don't like the way I look, and all of that stuff, right? And again, you react, and you're constantly reacting to your environment because you're not in tune with who you are as a person. So when you operate from a self-awareness perspective, you're looking at life differently. You're questioning yourself. You understand who you are, what makes you what your triggers are, what your expectations are, what your values are, what you enjoy, what your passions are. And when you do that, instead of self-doubting and instead of those negative thoughts, you flip the switch, the script, and you're saying to yourself, well, why do I feel this way? Or how can I change my situation? And how can I step forward differently? So instead of reacting, you're taking action, and your whole life changes once you start operating from a self-awareness. And some of us might think like, oh, I know what my triggers are. I know what sets me off, or I know what I like and don't like, but they don't really go deep enough to know how to change that reaction to action. And so that's why I think, when you're operating from self-awareness or without self-awareness, there's a big, big difference, but it takes a lot of work to get there.
Spoken like a true mindset coach. Right, Dr. Right.
Love it.
Yeah, so if you doubt it, what Coach Marisa does, now you know, right? For sure. And how important is this for coaches to be self-aware?
Oh, absolutely. It's so important because you have to be in tune with yourself so that you can help other people as well to help them get into that mindset, to help them tune into who they are. So as a coach, when you're self-aware, sometimes we don't realize how badly we impact somebody, right? We might be trying to give them advice as a coach, but it's coming off as obnoxious or as we know too much, right? So when we are coming from a place of self-awareness, we're also looking at, well, if that makes me tick, maybe that makes the other person tick, right? So you're operating from a full self-awareness of yourself and what potentially the other person or your client is going through. And so it's really important to have that self-awareness expanded. I say expanded because it's beyond your own self. It's with your client as well.
That's right. That's right. Awesome. Thank you so much for those gems. Coaches out there, I hope you have your notebook and pens. Okay. I hope you have several pens because They are dropping nuggets tonight. I promise you
Nuggets.
that. Thank you so much, Coach Marisa. Thank you. So let's go on over to Coach Annabel. The question I have for you is regarding leadership and women as leaders. All too often, we find it tough to receive, right? And women, I guess, period, whether most women typically tend to be leaders, right? But can you speak to that and why it is that we have a tough time receiving?
Well, wow. Especially for female leaders and femme leaders, I'd say that there's this conditioning that our worth is tied to what we give. And when you've been, sometimes society tends to think of us in that way and treat us that way. And so we're always showing up for others. We are the community leaders. We're the leaders in our family. We are leading in our business. And it's it's so hard for us to stop and receive because we want to make sure it's done correctly. We want to follow through on our word. And it's almost becomes uncomfortable to receive. And I find it always odd too, because when you think of feminine energy, we are here to receive. I mean, our bodies receive and we give so much. We give life back, right? And it's like Mother Earth does the same thing, takes in the sun and gives back everything. And, the nature, the plants, the flowers, I mean, so much. And so I think that it's difficult because we're not given that space. We are not given enough. We are taught to always give and have our worth tied to how much we're giving.
Yes.
And so when you have that connection, that dynamic, but Marisa was saying, it's true. It's like it's so hard to break out of that mindset when how do you receive when you actually have to stop doing what you're doing, which means that you're stopping to showing the world that you're productive, that you're able, that you are enough. And I think that has been something that women, we always want to just show and prove because of just the way that we haven't been able to have formal leadership in society. We've been, denied that in many spaces in society, whether it's schools, corporations, churches. Women are not allowed to be leaders. And so to lead takes so much projection and so much energy. And so it's transforming that, right? It's us being able to hold the feminine energy and lead with that, and to know that we are enough as we are. Just being is enough. And so that's something that I do hope that many women embrace, is that as you are, you are complete, whole, and worthy. And we have to not take on the way males define leaders and not perpetuate how they have led and expect, because we equal, but we are not the same.
That's
And
right.
women just need to accept that we are equal. We're just as powerful, but we are not the same as men. And it's okay for us to lead differently. And I think that that's something that I think we're all looking forward to doing. That's why we have our own businesses, right? Because there was something in where you were that didn't allow you to be all you are. And the moment that happened, that's when you're like, I can't do this job. I'm not going to be in this industry. Or you were just redirected. You got the pink slip, right, Pam? I mean, or me having my life altered, like a life altering moment. Okay, I can't go back to my work. My building is not even standing anymore, right? It's so we get those redirections, and then it's like, now we get this opportunity, and are we taking it? Are we really prioritizing ourselves and allowing ourselves to be enough to lead by observing, lead by being, and lead by sometimes being the student and the leader at the same time, like holding that duality? And so I think that there's a lot of conditioning there. And I think, especially for women of color, we don't see ourselves in roles of success. So I don't believe in the imposter syndrome. I just think that society has never allowed us to be in those leadership roles. So of course you feel like an imposter, because here you are living it out in life and you don't see it on TV. You don't see it anywhere in the media. So there's so much there that I could go on and on about, but but I'd say that yeah, that receiving is something that I feel all of us as female leaders, femme leaders are learning to do, and something that I'm so excited that they'll get to do this October in our retreat.
That is so awesome. I mean, what you just shared is so rich. In addition to what Coach Marisa has shared, it's just, can you see the layers forming out there for those of you who are watching? Can you see how it's building up? I mean, it's building up. And, I do have a question for you, Coach Annabel, though. It's this. What is one thing that a person can do right now, a woman can do right now to open her mind to receiving? So what is that one thing that you would say that will help her tonight?
One of the most powerful techniques for me has been journaling. And the reason why is because you're putting pen to paper. You are by yourself.
Yes.
You are in the moment. And it's just you, your mind, and that pen. And you're asking yourself questions, you're reflecting. And you'd be amazed of when we become still, we become available. Call it the Almighty, the Most High, the Divine, the consciousness.
Excuse me just 1 second. Somebody needs to tweet that. Can somebody type that? Can somebody, can you repeat that? When we become still, maybe I can do that. Let me.
We become available.
Okay, I'm gonna find a way to type that in here right now.
And we're conduits. I mean, we bring humanity. We're the ones that we birth humanity, and so just like we do that, we can do that with our thoughts, and so I'd say that tonight, everyone can do that. Everyone can be still and can journal and become available, and then be amazed at what shows up on that paper. You'd be amazed the answers you get, but the stillness is important, and that creates a space within yourself to become available. And actually now then you have that download, you got that inspiration, and you're like, where did I get that idea? Because you're making yourself available for it. So I hope that everyone does do that tonight, because journaling is a powerful technique that's helped me.
That is so awesome. Thank you. Thank you again, lady coaches out there, coaches, women, period. I hope you are taking copious notes tonight. And I want to go ahead and read some of the comments before we go on over to Dr. V. Dr. Richey says, unlearn what we have been programmed to believe about false limitations, allowing them to limit us. And then I love what Angela says. She said, so true. So all of what you said is so true. You as well as Marisa. In some mindsets, those who stop to receive are seen as selfish and prevents one from giving. That's what you said as well. And Dr. Richey said, think, transform, transfer, and then transform. And I love there was a comment here. Here it is. 3 truly talented, incredible transformational coaches with amazing stories and experiences, loving the show already, from Virginia's husband. That's your man, girl. That's your man.
He's amazing.
All right. That is all right. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate you. And then there is a message from Mr. Ryan King. He says, hello, Mrs. Pamela and Annabel. Of course, he is from our class of 2019, right, with Coach Lisa Nichols. And that's actually where Annabel, as well as Dr. V and I met on the campus, on Lisa Nichols' campus. And I tell you, that's why you got to show up to go up, because you get to hang out with incredible women like this. I would never have had the opportunity had I not gone. And here it is, 3 years later. We haven't seen each other in 3 years, right? We spent an amazing weekend together. but now we're back. And now and then you went and picked up another remarkable woman in Marisa Jones. And so we're excited that you are all here. So we're going to go right on over to Dr. V. And Dr. V, the question I have for you is this. As we talk about women wellness and the leadership journey, on that particular live that you did, you talked about controlling the narratives and taking risks. So can you share more about that with us tonight?
Sis, first of all, let me just say, your audience is on it. Thank you for those shout out and affirmations. And my sisters do you see why I'm collaborating with these two women? Why I just bless the divine God for just connecting me with them, in the various ways that I have been connected, because they have totally set me up perfectly. And we are so aligned. And this is what it's about. It's understanding within that whole wellness conversation and taking risks that, first of all, you have a choice. Mm-hmm. And February, I don't know how many of you, have gotten into energetics or follow that. That's a part of what we'll be talking about and just experiencing at the Exhale retreat. But in February, the Mother Earth energy was ushered in. And with that energy, I think we can all see and realize that women have started to wake up, right? Hashtag woke. We have started to wake up and understand that we do have a choice. We were given a birthright, and that birthright is to choose, right? And we are the life givers, right? We are the nurturers. So I'm seeing more and more women stepping into their greatness, into their power, who are coming out of these environments that have been traumatic, hostile, abusive, debasing, whatever other words you can think of, which I'm sure we all know, because we've probably all experienced in some way, shape, or form. And, the powers that be that try to condition our minds to think, to control our thinking and being, right, to a less than role instead of stepping into our more than role, right? Because we're more than conquerors, and we're extremely capable of doing anything that we set our minds and hands to. So with this Mother Earth energy that's ushered in, it's like our intuition has become what I call conscious intuition, right? So we're starting to step into that and operate in it. And as Annabel was talking about being mindful of it, as Marisa was talking about being aware of it and the power within that's surging through. So now it's like the divine has posed the question, are you going to take the risk? Are you going to step into and own your story and go beyond that story, activate those superpowers that you have, right? Because we don't even process that, that we're sitting up here with all kinds of superpowers because we're thinking about it. We don't have a willing suspension of disbelief for our own selves. We'll have it for TV. We'll have it for the comics, right? But we won't have it for ourselves. But we are waking up, ladies, and we're starting to understand, realize our superpowers. And as our coach Lisa Nichols talks about all the time, we are gladiators. So, those capes we've been wearing, they're for real. I talk about corner women, right? So we have our boxing gloves on, right? We're in that boxing ring of life. So it's about taking the risk, saying yes, choosing you. So this year is all about being true to you, right? Right now, we were talking about, I think on our last Facebook Live, about how we're all kind of going through this purging, right? We're all aligning, getting realigned and aligned, to people, things, places, work that are truly our sole purpose. So, from our pain has come births our passion. And so that's what I see us stepping into. And that's what this, this Exhale retreat is all about. It's to live that exponential healing and awareness, to live that exceptional life from the inside out. So, when I talk about, just holistic wellness, it's understanding, checking in on your health, your heart health. That's right. What is your heart health telling you? What are if your emotions are kind of, heightened or all out of sorts, being aware of that, and where is that stemming from? And then making a decision to do something about it, moving into action, right? And changing your circumstance. So, and And change is the one thing that's constant in life, right? So change, what is change? Change is transformation. If you're not changing, if you're not transforming, you're stagnant, you're not living, right?
Right.
And heaven forbid you're not here, right? So you don't want a job, right? Or a hierarchical structure that was not even created by us, that was not meant for us, a game board that we're playing on that we didn't even write or set the rules for, and have no power over to change that game, how it's played, but we can change the game. We can't change the game. We can create the game. You know,
That's
when
right.
you think about societies and how societies were formed, they were formed on the back of entrepreneurs, right? And then these corporations is built up, right?
That's right.
So, you know, what I see us women doing is we're stepping out of that conditioned structure, you know, that social conditioned structure, and we're birthing life. We're birthing life through our businesses, and we're playing on a whole new field, right? we're setting up not only our viewpoint. We're changing our viewpoint of what economic freedom looks like. We're no longer trying to climb that ladder that's meant for one person at a time. I don't know if y'all ever thought about that, you know. So and we're taking control of our emotions, and we are truly owning who we are and what our capabilities are, and we're taking the risk on us. If you're going to risk anything, risk betting on yourself. So really, that's kind of the conversation. And when I talk about wellness, health and wellness, and mind, body, soul, and business. And so I think I answered the question. And
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
you did. Thank you so much for that. So I have a burning question to ask all of you. How in the world did y'all connect? Because this is a beautiful connection. I mean, it's just like, the synergy is like this right now. So I need to know, how did y'all connect?
Well, it's absolutely amazing. As you know, we met at the same time with Annabel at the Speaker Right with Lisa back in 2019. But Marisa reached out to me on Facebook. And this is the thing about taking a chance and reaching out to someone on Facebook. She just launched a phenomenal podcast that I'm going to give you a plug, and then I'll throw in mine. Women CEOs. So she has a podcast about women CEOs. So she reached out. I guess she, done some research on me, or, saw how I was showing up in the world, and invited me to the podcast. And literally from that first conversation, I mean, the rest was history. Just so aligned, so in sync. She came to my podcast, Define Your Path. And then it was crazy because Annabel and I were actually collaborating with someone else who life happened. And so she had to make that boss decision and step away. And, I was thinking, okay, I was just sitting there in that stillness and that quietness that Annabel was talking about. And, and I was like, okay, this is happening. We're already starting to push things out. Where's that tripod, that third leg? And literally Marisa popped into my head. I was like, and I sent her a message. She was like, yes.
I'm in.
I didn't hesitate.
Power of three.
Did not hesitate. As soon as I met Doc V, I was hooked. Like we just had so much in common, and so many things to talk about. We met several times over the course of a couple of weeks. After me reaching out to her, I was looking for women for my podcast to talk about personal growth and mental health. And she had so much to share, and I absolutely loved it. And so once we connected, we just knew we had to collaborate. We just didn't know how it was going to turn out. And so when she called me for this opportunity, I was all in. So my dog has just been so, he's behind the scenes here.
Can we see him? Can you lift him?
Let me see. There he is.
What's his name?
Yeah, his name is Decker, and he's just, it's raining here, and he gets a little anxious and he gets anxiety. So he just wants mama right now. So it's, of course, it's been quiet all day, but that's part of just with going with the flow, right? I mean, you have to be present. Trying to be present here, it's I'll still be a mom. That's part of running a business and being a coach, is just doing it all at once. And But I just, Doc V and Annabelle, there's so much synergy and so much, there's so much we have in common, and we literally just feed off of each other. We sit in these workshops, these working sessions where we're building out this workshop, and it's just these ideas are flowing, and it's so creative, and we build off of each other, and it's just been amazing. Like, I am so excited. Just the process itself has been fantastic, and I can't wait to get there, and I can't wait to start, having our guests show up and helping them, because, people go to they'll go to a yoga class or they do meditation, but they do it in spurts, right? What everyone's been talking about is embodying it, right? And embodying this feminine divine energy that everyone is feeling. And I hear it so often from so many women. And when we connect with each other and we start working together, we're doing it consciously, across, multiple people, and it's not just sole individuals on this process and on this path. And so that's what I love about this whole thing. And I'm thrilled to be a part of it.
Yes.
Wow. So, Coach Marisa, tell us this. Tell us when it's going to happen, the retreat, the Excel retreat, and tell us who it's for. Let's start there, and then we'll do a round robin there, okay?
Okay, so it's in October 21st, October 17th until October 21st. Okay. It's 5 days of fun and relaxation and working sessions. And it's just going to be really fantastic. It's in Mexico, in Isla Mujeres, if I pronounce that correctly.
Okay.
And
Isla Mujeres.
Oh, Isla Mujeres. All right, I chopped that one up. But
Islands of Women.
All right. Yeah. So if you can share with us, who is this retreat designed for?
This is for anyone who has been on a personal growth journey and just wants to take it to the next level. This is someone who wants to go deeper into their soul, into defining who they are. This is someone who's just starting out, right? Someone who just really wants to start over, maybe with a reset, and really start going through the process of what it takes to live differently and live authentically and live purely with divine energy and who you are. And it's until you're in it, you don't really understand what that means. But when you're living this daily, it doesn't mean things don't come at you and you have hard times, because that happens. But how you react to them and how you are in those situations and who you are as a person, the more personal work you do on yourself, the healthier your relationships are around you, and the more you invite people into your circle. And there's so much reward with connection with other human beings, and that's what it's about. And I invite everyone to show up, and you're going to learn something regardless of where you are in your path.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. So, Coach Annabel, can you share with us the what? What can we expect? What is the design of the time there, and what types of sessions can we expect?
Have fun. Yes. Well, all women, or those who identify as a femme, they can expect finally to actually retreat and exhale and really let your body lead. There's going to be sessions where we're going to move our bodies to drumming. We're going to be really using all the senses. And especially because our nerves are so riddled, we're always getting all this information and all this interaction that sometimes we don't even want. And so to calm your nerves, we'll be doing sessions where we're touching our bodies, we're really being with the ocean, and really having time with our breath, right? With really setting in, and we're doing breathing exercises. But those are just a few things. We have so much more, but really just inner transformation for people, because it takes time, right? For transformation. It just doesn't happen, and you have to really want it. And we're definitely creating that safe space and building that trust throughout the retreat, so that there can be so that there will be a sisterhood at the end of the retreat. And so I'm excited for it.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach Annabel. Doc V,
Yes,
we've
yes.
heard the who, we've heard the what. Now bring the why and close us out.
Girl, look, the why is because we need to be able to have a safe haven, to take off our gloves, to take off our capes, to exhale, to receive that breakthrough. So we are going to take you all on a 5-day transformational journey that's guided by revelation, reconciliation, and renaissance, right? So that you can power back up and be and continue the good fight, right? And just be the women leaders that you're called to be, whether it's in the home, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's as an entrepreneur. So, again, exhale stands for exponential healing and awareness, to live an exceptional life from the inside out. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be connecting from the inside out to the elements, to nature. So we have modules, our 5 pillars. They're called the Be True to You Breakthrough Pillars. Gloves off, rediscover yourself, love the skin you're in, trust the process, and ignite your flame are the 5 pillars. And we are literally going to be connecting to the earth, to air, to water, to metal, to fire, and igniting that back in our women who come to this retreat, because we all need to step away. So we're taking you out of your element, right? Out of your natural habitat, taking you away so that you can breathe and you can work on healing, rebuilding, and transforming, so that you can go back and be the leaders that we're all called to be, right? And walk in our greatness, but also connect with other sisters, other corner women who are going to be able to stay connected, to help lift you. We have a philosophy of standing on each other's shoulders, and while everyone is unique and special in their own right, owning that, right, and being each other's cheerleaders, so that we can find that freedom, and walk that freedom journey, and really define our own paths. So it's going to be absolutely amazing. We're not going to be sitting in classrooms all day. We'll be outside. We'll be by the pool, in the water, you name it. Connecting back to the elements, and just working on finding, reconnecting, and just being powerful women, connected to and walking in our soul purposes. So, when I had this revelation a couple of years ago to do an Exhale retreat, things just kept happening, and it wasn't time. And it wasn't time because I hadn't met these ladies yet. Well, I hadn't met Annabel, but we're all called to such a time as this. So if anything has resonated with you in this conversation, if you have those thought bumps, as one of my mentors like to say, then please go and go to the link, take a look at what we're going to be doing, what it's all about. Take a chance on you, risk you, invest in you. And I'll tell you right now, because we operate in true transparency and love, this is not about a moneymaker for us. When you go to the site and you see what the investment is for a single individual, you're going to be like, well, where's the expense for the retreat? So it's an all-inclusive resort on the gorgeous island of women, actually, Isla Mujeres. It translates the island of women. So that was a divine download also. And literally, you just get there, get your flight. You pay your investment, get your flight. We pick you up from the airport. Everything is paid for while you're there. We'll give you a swag bag. We'll have a great time. Ladies, this is going to be an opportunity for you to fill up your cup. How Lisa talks about all the time about, we have to serve from that overflowing cup. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I need this for me. We're going to be serving you, but it'll also be an exhale for us. So we just encourage you to, if you love what you felt, what you've heard, please go and sign up. I think Pamela has dropped that link, or we'll drop in the link, and we're going to have a tremendous, tremendous time. Folks are flying in on the 16th, actually. Okay. So we'll do like a networking reception. And don't worry about, this is not about pitching people at the end of this. This is about you, ladies. This is about your health and wellness. If you want to know something about either one of any of us and our businesses or what have you, you can ask, right? But this is not an opportunity for us to, to sell you like, some folks might expect. This is about you, about your exponential healing and awareness. And yeah, let's do it together. Ladies, did I forget anything?
Yes.
That is
I love
it.
that. No, you said it all, Doc V.
Yes, and together, the who, what, and why, y'all hit a home run. And so in terms of how people register, the link is scrolling below. It's the pivotmaestro.com/exhale-retreat. And we'll also put it in the comments so that you can have that link as well. So here it is. Go ahead. You can keep going.
And also, we have an option if you want to bring your loved ones, your partners, with you. We've created a package for that as well. So take a look at that. That is an option because you might turn this into a family affair, when you're not in sessions with us. So that is an opportunity as well. I wanted to throw that out there.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So here it is, the Excel Retreat. Dr. Virginia LeBlanc, Annabel Quintero, and Marisa Jones. And so it's a 5-day transformational breakthrough, six nights, beach view, all inclusive. It's like, sign me up, right?
Every single room is oceanfront view, every single room.
Wow. Well, I would come just to be in the midst. If I could be there, I have a conflict during that time, but I would be there to support and just to be. I need to be there. I just need all of what all three of you have said and shared. I need it. I know I need it. So how many more of you out there watching this, you need it too? Definitely you can comment, you can reach out and connect with them individually. Go to the pivotmaestro.com to get registered, because as you can see, you are in for a treat. When I said triple threat, I actually really meant triple threat. They're going to combine their forces to show us how to exhale and return home in a better place. Return home refreshed and revived, and also connecting with some powerful sisters like these sisters. How can you not? So I know it's going to be tremendous. I look forward to hearing all about it. And I know it's just the beginning, right, ladies? You're probably going to have more to come. Yes?
Just the beginning.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, from the Coach to Coach show, we thank you for your time. We thank you for coming and sharing with us your expertise, your energy, life, love, joy, peace. You brought it all tonight, and expertise. So we thank you, each of you, Marisa, Coach Marisa Jones, Coach Annabel Quintero, and Coach Dr. Virginia LeBlanc. We thank you for being with us, everyone. Thank you for those of you who get registered. Please get registered. We will drop the link in the comments, and you just go on to it. As you can see, it's going to be incredible. So until Monday, everyone have a great rest of the week, and God bless.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.